Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Robbie.
Morning, mate. How are you today?
Yeah, good. Charlie, morning.
Morning.
And we've got a special guest today. I've known this man since he was really, really, really young, little babby. Hello, George.
Hello, Mark. You all right?
Yeah, fantastic. I've got to say, hope everyone's had a great week. We've had terrible winds out here in Spain, the worst winds we've had in 20 years of living here. So cleaning swimming pools is not going to be a good job for me this week. Listen, guys, I watched Arsenal Man United last week, and I thought Man United played really well and probably deserved the game. Two cracking goals from Drogo, wasn't it? Drogo and Cunha. But I heard he got injured, and he's out for 10 weeks, Charlie Drogo now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a shame. We've just pushed Dorgu further forward, playing him more as a winger now rather than a left back. And he's scoring, he's playing well, and it's a real shame for him because he's looked a bit clumsy and not sure about him, and thinking, I'm probably going to need another left back in 18 months. But yeah, he's done really well. So it's a shame he's got injured for a while now.
Excellent. I've got loads of Leeds fans and friends who are Leeds fans, and got most of them are season ticket holders. One of them been for 43 years, Dave. And I used to love, when I first started going away games, I loved more going away games than I did home games. And I used to love the tight grounds, and I don't know if that song, We All Stand Together, and it leads and it was a great ground to go to. It was very intimidating. If there's one thing I liked about Leeds, they always got stuck in, a bit like Sunderland this season. They've been very, very hard to beat. But yesterday, George, they just looked like they rolled over, and you literally walked through them, didn't you? Did you watch the game, George?
Obviously, 3 o'clock, you can't get over here, can you? But I watched the highlights this morning, and we could have easily been 5-6-0 up. Gyökeres missed a glorious one-on-one. Jesus missed a header. Could have quite easily been 5-6-0. And I thought it was going to be quite a difficult game yesterday.
Did you watch it? Anybody else? You guys watch it, Robbie? Charlie?
I watched a bit of it. I watched a bit of the second half. It just looked like they were kind of bullying them. It was like a physical, I don't know. I think it was fairly comfortable for Arsenal, and I think it was quite easy for them, what I saw of it. But you're right, there weren't a lot of fight in it.
No, I think it was a game Arsenal needed. Right, 7 points clear, George. Last few seasons, people have tipped Arsenal to win the league. And a lot of people say Arsenal are like the Christmas decorations. They come down at Christmas. Personally, for me, we had a discussion, us three, a couple of weeks ago, and we all said that we think Arsenal's going to win the league. Do you think you're going to do it this year? Arteta has spent 929 million since he's been there, almost £1 billion, and spent 250 million this season. Are you going to do it, George?
I'd like to say yes. I think there is certainly many twists yet. 7 points clear. City got our game today. I know Tottenham ain't playing well one bit, but that is an hard game to City. Are Tottenham going to do Arsenal a favour? You never know. They need points. And I don't know if they will get over the line. I don't know. I think if they win the League Cup, and I think quite a few teams have done it. Chelsea done it under Mourinho. City done it. Win the League Cup, and I think you're going in the right direction. I think if they win the League Cup, they win the league.
You've only won that twice, George. I looked up this morning. You won 48 major trophies, and yet you've only won the League Cup twice. That's quite strange. Or do they not, like a lot of teams, not bothered about it anymore?
Well, I'll see a stat before the Chelsea first leg. That was our 11th semi-final. In 11 games, we have not won an away leg in the semi-final of the League Cup, which I found amazing.
Yeah, how many times you won the League Cup, boys?
Charlie?
Cool. I mean, we didn't.
I'd have to think about that. Yeah,
we never really took it too seriously under Ferguson, not to begin with. And I mean, later on, we certainly did. Like George said before, we went 2 years without trophy. We ended up beating Wigan 4-0 in the final. And Ferguson always said even that was what kicked us on. We went on to win the league the following year, the league, Champions League. He went, but that League Cup win against Wigan, that was the catalyst for, success in the next few seasons.
Are we disrespectful, boys? I'll just being honest here. If you start the season, right, any of us here to start the season, but who do you think might win the league this year? Now, probably at the 4 teams that we'd all pick might have won the league this year. We'd have all said Arsenal. We'd have all said Man City. I don't think many of us would have said Villa. We'd have had Liverpool in there, and probably Chelsea, right? And so, as a club that's not going to win the league, do you think it's disrespectful that for the fans? I mean, if you look when Newcastle won the League Cup last year, their fans went mad and they got accused of over-celebrating. They hadn't won anything for 70 years. It's a great thing to win and a great day out for the fans.
The League Cup, right? I mean, look, if you say like Arsenal this year, fighting on all 4 fronts, probably the League Cup's, at the bottom of your list, right? But what I always say about the League Cup, if you win it, it's a trophy. And if you get knocked out, no one cares about it. That is how people look at the League Cup.
It's fickle, isn't it?
It
I'd
is.
win it. I'd want to win it because I'd want a trophy. Personally, I do think what George said there is what Mourinho did. He took it seriously and then went and won the league because he wanted to create a mentality of winning. Guardiola done it loads of times with City as well, hasn't he? They take it seriously because it's that mentality. But I just think you're right for fans, but also as a fan, I'd want a trophy. You want to celebrate.
100%. Do you know, I think it was 81, 82. We got to play Liverpool in the final. And they was winning everything at the time. And there was a referee at the time called Clive Thomas. I don't know if he was very, very controversial. And I think it was who hit the ball. But Sammy Lee was in the box. They hit someone, I think it was Alan Kennedy on the outside of the box. And Sammy Lee ducked down in an offside position and he gave the goal. And then we got a goal on the last minute. Do you remember? I don't know if the rules are still the same, but years ago, the game could be finished, but if the referee had awarded a penalty, they had to have that penalty. Yeah, it's since changed. But we got a penalty, and Alvin Martin headed it. Terry McDermott went like that, and Ray Stewart scored to make it 1-1. We lost in the replay at Villa Park when there used to be replays on a Wednesday night. But for me, that was my greatest game because at the end of the game, the relief coming round, we'd won it. Liverpool, all their fans walked off, never, when the teams walked round, never cheered them. But I think it's a great respect. I think it's very disrespectful, not to try in the League Cup. Yeah, you might have other big fish on there, but like George says, at the end of the day, that trophy, your name's on that trophy forevermore, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, George, he won't be happy to talk about it, but you remember, like, Arsenal went, 8-9 years without a trophy, and they got Birmingham in the League Cup final, and they lost 2-1. But so many Arsenal fans talk about, like, that is one of the darkest days for them because it should have ended their trophy drought,
For me, that was the worst day. Barcelona in 2006 hurt, but Barcelona are a brilliant side. Birmingham, for me, that was the worst day ever.
That's what I mean.
Bad, George. Every day's a bad day.
No,
George,
but
listen,
I
Charlie
also
sent me
think-
this. George, hold on. Let me
Go on.
just tell you this, right? Because the dogs, I'm going to kill the dogs in a minute. Can you hear them barking? You are. Charlie sent me this last week. I don't know, but before yesterday's game, this is where I think you're going to struggle, like most teams these days, have not got a striker. But before yesterday's game, Saka had got no goals in 13 appearances. Got Geiger, isn't it? No goals.
Yorker is, yeah.
In 11 appearances. Martinelli, no goals in 13. Maduki, nothing in 25. Trossard, 1 in the last 11. Do you think, really, he's never really bought an out-and-out top-class striker? I know Jesus is back in the squad again, isn't he, recently?
I think his hand was forced this year by signing Gyökeres. Arteta didn't want him. He wanted Seska. I think that was clear to see. And obviously, Berto, coming from Atletico Madrid, decided on Gyökeres. I thought that was the right decision. I thought an out-and-out, proven striker. I know he's only done it in the Portuguese league, but scoring goals. I don't care what league you're in. If you know where the back of the net is and you get chances, that don't stop. Is Gyökeres the type of player I thought he was? No. Footballing-wise, he's hard to watch. But we need to start putting chances on a plate for him. And the last few games, I have seen that.
I used to listen. Sorry, Jules. I used to listen to Gary Lineker and Ian Wright, and they said the best place to score goals is in the 6-yard box. Get the ball across, get it in there. But
and that's what I thought we had in Gyökeres. I did think that, and Obviously, it's his first season in the Premier League. He's still got 11 goals this year. And I think for people that are going over the top with him, he's still scored 11 goals.
Yeah.
I know it
I mean,
ain't the numbers Arsenal fans want and people expected him to score 20, 30 odd goals. I don't think he's done that bad. Footballing wise, he's not a good technical footballer, but I don't think he was ever brought in to be that.
Yeah.
No, all right.
He scored
No,
with
Now,
his
George,
shin.
just sorry, go on. Sorry, mate.
He
Sorry.
scored with his shin yesterday. Yeah.
Don't matter, does it?
He
They all
is,
count, don't they? You're going to take it.
he is so bad on the eye to watch, but if someone's scoring goals and winning titles for Arsenal, I couldn't care how they go in.
No,
But then
like
people
you.
say Haaland isn't a great all-round footballer, but he's just there, isn't it? You know, he'll have 10 touches in a game, but he'll score 2, and that's just what City want. I mean, if Arsenal can get that out of him, I do think part of it is the way he's play. I mean, you just don't get it in the box that much. I mean, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like,
Charlie, are you joking? Are you
I
joking?
don't cross it all that much.
No,
That what
talking
Arsenal
about from their throws and their corners. They've scored more goals
corners,
from
yeah. But
corners
you
and
watch them
throws
from
than
open
anyone else.
play. If you watch Arsenal from open play, they're not. They don't like keep swinging it into the box enough. Not that much. And that's what Gyökeres needs. Service.
At the minute, under Arteta, we are very cautious, and it's sort of like the days under Graham. We're not going to lose this game of football. And I think sometimes the handbrake needs to come off and go, no, we're just going to blow them out the water. Because I honestly think we are good enough to blow anyone out the water.
Yeah.
George, tell us about the corners and the throws then. I mean, there was a guy called, we spoke about this last week, Tony Pulis, we spoke about a couple of years back. He was a Stoke manager, and he had a player called Rory Delap. His son there plays for Robbie's team. And he used to have this long throw, and everyone caned him. Absolute boring football, just launching it in the middle. All of a sudden, used to getting corners, and you know, on expect Arsenal to score at corners and long throws now, don't we?
I love it. It's winding everyone up. Are you not allowed to score from corner anymore?
Goals a goal from wherever it comes
We've mastered something, and we're the best at it. And if you can score 2-3 goals a week from a corner, I'm sure everyone would take your hand off for that.
Robbie, you've got a few examples, ain't you, of long throws and corners?
Yeah, well, I remember that, and Chelsea had it, didn't they, years ago? My dad used to tell me, but I mean, my thing for Chelsea, it took them an age to work out how to defend it, and it's something so simple. It's not a skillful act, is it? It's just the guy who can throw it the furthest, and the defenders go up, and you're right. If you're scoring from it, you're not going to complain. I would ask, do you reckon Arteta sets up the tactics to say, guys, instead of crossing it, like Charlie's saying you don't do, but play for the corner? Like a kind of American football type, I don't know, tactic.
It is a weird one. But I mean, I remember we went about 2 years without scoring a set piece, it seemed like, Man United at one point. And it was just like, it got to the point where it was pointless us getting a corner because you were watching it going, I know we ain't going to score from it. It really was. And then eventually, I think Maguire scored an header against Chelsea. And it was like, thank God we've finally scored from a corner. But, you know, I remember us, like, we were dangerous at set pieces. Like Vidic, you was happy when you got a corner because you're like, oh, Vidic is going to get on the end of this. So I don't see the bad thing about it. And also, we grew up watching 90s football. Set pieces were a big thing back then. You know, Everton had Duncan Ferguson, Newcastle had Shearer, and you always had a striker or a centre-back who's like, I mean, Steve Bruce. Like, you know, like set pieces were a thing.
But I think Declan Rice don't get the credit he deserves. For every corner, it's on a sixpence. Every corner. And I think he's just an unbelievable corner taker.
Isn't it weird? Many players struggle to take corners now.
It should be a simple thing to do. And Declan Rice has mastered it.
Do
you remember Wise, Robbie? He was one of the first to put his hand in the air, weren't he, to give a signal?
He's getting hands up and always get in front of you. Come on, lads. So I want to say, if I was a football manager and the corner it's the first defender, I'd find him. Because I think you're right, it's a simple thing to do. And they should be practicing them. It should never hit the first man.
No.
But it does
Right,
now.
just on this, Charlie. 1 second. Played for you, this guy, Charlie. I see his funeral this week, and they spoke about Gordon McQueen and his family are now trying to get working with the FA because they said it was through heading the ball caused him to end up with dementia. This started with Jeff Astle, an old England West Brom striker from years ago, his wife said, and it was proven that caused his dementia. Do you think, I mean, as a player we got at West Ham, Max Kilman, he is scared of heading the ball. He will not head it. 6'5", won't go near it. How and what are they going to do with all these inquiries they do? Or can they not do nothing? I mean, other than say to players, don't head a ball no more. Have you got any? What do you reckon, Charlie?
I mean, the problem is with old players, and mine and George's granddad. He used to play Sunday League, and he was like, see them old leather footballs. He went, when it rained, it was like Eddering concrete. He went, it rock solid, and so you understand our players back in the day because how the balls were, but balls are like so different now, aren't they? And I mean, every time there's a major tournament, they talk about how much it moves in the air and how light it is, and so probably heading a football now is a bit different to heading a football in the 60s and the 50s and stuff. But look, I get it. It's a part of. I mean, they don't even let kids head of the ball now, do they? Below a certain age, but footballs are very different to what they used to be.
Robbie?
Yeah, I completely agree there. I mean, they are light now. When you see the kids playing, that the material's different, isn't it? I still think heading it can be a good part of the game. When you see, all right, yesterday we got one, but he's dived in. So Cucurella's dived in. You've got people like Charlie there's got, what's his sofa head, Maguire, right, who's brilliant at it. And I do think it's the same with everything, taking the corner. If you practice it and you're good at it, it's gonna do damage to the other team. Remember, you spoke about Vidic. I remember people like him, Terry. You just knew they were going to win every ball in the air. When you come in, and then you get an attack from it. So I think it's a good thing. But maybe the old balls, probably weighed about 5 kilos, but they don't anymore. It's like, do you remember them wind floaters as a kid? You kick the thing. That's I think that's a bit what they're like, isn't they? Toe punt the thing, and it just goes. I don't know. It's like a boomerang.
George, you got an opinion on heading the ball? Will it ever be stopped in football? Do you think, or it can't?
I can't see how you can. What's next? You can't play overhead football. No, like when you was a kid, try and keep it on the floor. Can't go overhead. Look, I understand what it is doing to people, but like what Charlie said, with the weight of the ball and things like that, you can't stop it. You just can't stop it.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Yeah. George, we go back to Arsenal. Sorry, we always digress on here. We want to do a show about 30 minutes. We ended up doing 50 minutes last week. George, if you go back to the Arsene Wenger days, I mean, Charlie spoke about George, Mike's father-in-law, and one of the titles you won, me and him watched the telly when Arsenal needed to score 2 up at Anfield to win. Yeah. And I think Rocastle got one, and Michael Thomas got the, sadly, David Rocastle passed away. Was Thomas won it? Michael Thomas, he got one in the last minute. Steve McMahon was going around with one.
Yeah, one more minute.
And we watched that. As a Tottenham fan, George actually wanted Arsenal to win that day. But when Arsene Wenger come in, like for me, he revolutionised football. He changed the diet. He changed the training. There's one instance where Ray Parlour said he was starving on an away game when Wenger had come in and he'd ordered a spag bowl in the room. And the next day, Wenger says, I've asked everyone to tell me who works here what anyone ordered. You do that again and you're out.
Yeah.
Was you one of those that wanted Wenger out, or was it thanks for what you've done, but it's time for you to go? Or was you one of those that wanted to keep him on?
For me, he should have gone in 2012. It was hard. The things he'd done for the club, an unbelievable manager. He didn't win the things I think the team was good enough to win the Champions League. Got to 1 Champions League final in them years. But for me, he had to go in 2012. 2012, 2011 was probably the roughest times for me as an Arsenal fan. Losing the League Cup final to Birmingham in the February. And then in the August, we get beat 8-2 by Man United. And it's like, can things get any better? And I think he should have gone a long time before he did. It would have been nice if he left after the first FA Cup, after the 9-year trophy drought. So we beat Hull in 2014. I think that would have been a nice way to have gone, like, I've tried. And he did have his hands behind his back at some points with a stadium and things like that. He never expected all the money to come into football, like with Chelsea. I think that took a massive blow to him. But for me, he should have gone in 2012, about 5 years before he did.
I agree. Jules, the stadium, as a West Ham fan, literally West Ham fans blame everything on the move to the stadium and the current owners. Do you think it improved Arsenal going to the Emirates, or you would have rather stayed at Highbury?
Stay at Highbury all day long.
You know, most Arsenal fans have said the same thing to me, George.
I think the idea was right, and I think Wenger sat there and thought we do need to bring in more revenue. But he did not expect for what to happen, i.e. with Sky pumping even more money into football. And all the money you're getting nowadays, having a bigger stadium, I don't think really impacts you that much. Back then, 20 odd years ago, it did. That was one of your main sources of income. But now, it probably don't even touch the sides. With the TV money you get, the Champions League money you get, I think you get £2 million just for winning one game in the Champions League.
How about that, George? I've got to go. You said you didn't win a lot under Wenger, but come on, like probably the best rivalry there's been in recent years was them years between Man United and Arsenal. And unfortunately for you at the time, I think you come across probably one of the, or maybe the best team the Premier Leagues have ever side with the Beckham, Giggs, and for outsiders, yeah, you might not want it, but it was great for football. Them fights and Ferguson getting hit by pizzas, it going off in the tunnel. It was really good to watch. Did you enjoy them years? And you and Charlie can have a bit of a banter.
So with me, see, people used to say to me, "Oh, you must hate Tottenham more than anyone." And when I was a kid, I didn't, because look, I'm not. Well, I don't like Tottenham, end of. But what I'm saying is Tottenham were irrelevant when I was growing up. They never beat us. They never come anywhere near us in the league. Man United was my rivalry. Because if we could finish above Man United 9 times out of 10, you win the title.
Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it was hatred. It was absolute hatred. And, you know, being a kid from London, being a Man United fan, I can imagine getting in on Monday, and most of them were Arsenal fans anyway. It weren't the greatest experience, but yeah, I hated them. And I mean, I hated them more than I hated Liverpool. Like George said about Tottenham, we felt the same about City. It was nothing. I mean, they was in the lower leagues at one point. But you know, they made each other better. I don't think those sides would have been as good as they was without the other. Yeah, it was a great rivalry. I think, like George said, though, I think maybe the stadium kind of hampered it a bit because Arsenal couldn't really keep up. And obviously no one saw Chelsea come along with Abramovich and very much disrupted that rivalry, didn't they? But yeah, it was great at the time. It's kind of a shame it's dead now because, you know, both teams are in very different places and have been for a long time. But yeah, it was great at the time.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic. Did you enjoy it all, Robbie?
Yeah, we used to like it. Like you said, it's a rivalry, a punch-up. The Vieira and Keane was always going to be an interesting watch. You know, and it's different now with VAR. They probably wouldn't last one half of a game. You know, and it was a proper battle, wasn't it? And then I remember when Mourinho first came, we played Arsenal in a cup final, and it was all kicking off, and someone was carried off, red cards. There was a lot of passion, you know, for right or wrong, but there was a lot of passion, and it does create excitement. And you had, George, you know, you had years with Ferguson battling, and then Mourinho comes in, and him and Wenger go at it.
Yeah.
You know, and they couldn't stand each other. There was like a zero mutual respect between them. They couldn't stand each other. But it creates excitement, you know, and that sells. We're talking about Sky pumping money. That people will watch these games. I ask you three a question. How many other games would you actually watch that supposedly, like, I watched Arsenal United last week with my mate because I thought but it's rare that I would watch another team. Whereas you go back like 20 years, that's a game you're going to watch Liverpool United, you're going to watch Arsenal United, for example. You're going to want to watch them. Now, don't always watch them.
I like to watch most football, but I think the Premier League is going down the dark ways of boring, predictable football.
Yeah,
Same.
I agree.
I watch Arsenal. I watch Arsenal somewhere. Well, whenever they're on, I watch them, and you know what they're going to do. And same with City. You know what City are going to do. It's just so predictable, and it ain't like yesterday with the Chelsea West Ham game. It was great. West Ham going 2-0 up. Oh bloody hell! They're giving it a go. It was a great game to watch. But 9 times out of 10, it's just the same stuff. And it's just, I think it has lost its edge.
I agree. It's become predictable. I've got to be honest with you, George. I think City are too up and down. They get beat. I don't think Villa got a strong enough squad. I don't think Chelsea's got a good enough defence. Certainly not got a good enough goalkeeper. God knows what's going on with Liverpool this year. We spoke this season. We spoke and we didn't expect him to be here this week. We expected him to have gone and Xavi Alonso to come in. United are in and out. Carrick's come in and had this bit of a new manager impact. So I think if you don't win it this year, it might be, you mentioned Rice, you mentioned Odegaard. I think it might just be down to injuries. I'll tell you what I noticed yesterday. Loads of players now, opposing teams, are pushing Saka down the right wing, aren't they? They're not letting him cut in like he used to do. Have you noticed it with the fullbacks now?
Saka's becoming very, very predictable, like I was just saying about predictable players. Obviously, you had players like Robben, who was very predictable, but he was brilliant at what he'd done, even though you knew he was going to cut in. Same with Bale, going to cut in with his left foot out on the right. You knew what he's going to do, but you could not stop it. I think Saka's become very predictable, but it's like there's a mental barrier with him and he just can't push past that world-class stage for me.
George, I've got a question then with Saka because I think he's very talented. Do you think that's down to him or is a lot of that down to the coaching and what he's being told to do?
I think Arteta is coaching not the talent out players, but like we signed Eze. Eze's had an okay season. He hasn't pulled trees up. But I think that is down to Arteta wants to play a system. And when you join a club or you come into the club, you have to play to his system.
But George,
we had this with Guardiola. Sorry, Charlie, go on.
But you're 7 points clear, right? You're 1 foot in the League Cup final. You're through to the next stage of the FA Cup final. You finished top of the Champions League. You're 100% record. But you're not really... Arsenal fans ain't really happy, are they? Like, what is that?
I think, look, we're in a fantastic position. Everyone would bite our hand off to be in the position we're in. But I think part of it, especially with me, first leg of the semi-final, I thought the tie should have been over. I don't fancy Chelsea to get a result against us Tuesday night, but you never know in football, do you? For me, that tie should be dead and buried. The league, I think we should quite comfortably be 11, 14 points clear. And I think you're then looking at it as if to go, the title's probably wrapped up. Like you said, they're virtually in the League Cup final. Champions League don't start again because obviously finished in the top 8. So we haven't got that 2-legged game in February. All of a sudden, you're looking at it thinking, can this be stopped? Like, the massive possibility of winning all 4. But so I think it is. I think it's going to hit a little niggle. No, like I don't have to remember.
Should be in a better position.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The title should near enough be done. They've dropped so many silly points, and the League Cup semi-final should be done. It ain't, because I think the system comes first. Arteta loves his system. A couple of years ago, when we finished second for the first time, we blew teams away in the first 20 games. Like we looked unbelievable, and nerves crept in and things like that. And I think Arteta sat there and thought, no, we need to calm it down, play to our system, play to our strengths, which are our defence and scoring goals from set pieces.
Agree with you there. George, just before we move on, because I do want to touch on the European this week. Who's your favourite player ever at Arsenal?
For me, it was Robert Pires.
Mine would have been Bergkamp looking in as an out, so I thought he was class.
I sort of miss Bergkamp. I saw Bergkamp from when he was 32 to 36. Fantastic player. But for me, growing up, my favourite player was Robert Pires. I just loved everything about him.
Brilliant. Jules, listen, stay on. Please don't go off. It's brilliant
Yeah, no worries.
and good luck for the rest of the season. Now, Charlie had tried to explain to me about this Champions League last week, and I had no idea what was going on. Apparently, there was 36 teams. But Robbie was talking about Mourinho earlier on. Now, he sent his players out late, right, for their game in the second half against Madrid. Now, when they play the last group games, they've all got to play at the same time, haven't they?
Yeah.
And now, did he really? Now, bearing in mind this, what Mourinho's like, did he really do that on purpose, knowing that he wanted to know what he had to do? Because then in the last minute, he sends his goalkeeper forward when they're winning 3-2. They need another goal to go through. And the goalkeeper, who Robbie's finally told me his name, Anatoly Trubin, he goes up and he gets the winner. Is that only people like Mourinho who can think like that?
I'll answer that because I do think.
Sorry, Robbie, go on.
I think it's very probable. Remember, this is a guy who hid in a laundry basket to get smuggled into a stadium when he was on a ban. Right, so and you know that my dad met him in that, and he had a folder of every detail on every player. Before we had computers doing it, he hired a guy from Football Manager games or something. But there's a story of John Terry. We were playing a game, and I can't remember who it was against. And one of the guys went down injured, and the game can carry on. And Mourinho called Terry over and said, I need two of you to go down at the same time because the ref has to stop the game. Right, just to kill a minute at the end of a game, probably winning 1-0. So he did. Terry said, so I had to go over, and me and whoever was with him, two of them went over, and the ref has to stop the game. So if you're saying they went out late, I would say he definitely planned it. It's very
Charlie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If there's anything you can relate to Mourinho, it's mind games, isn't it? But fair play to him. It worked. I think it's worked out for UEFA as well because they wanted more drama in this league. This is the whole point of this league format is so, it's because most of the group stages before, teams were kind of dead and buried if you lost the first 3 games or something. And I think now, because of the way they work it, it makes it a little bit more exciting until the last game. And when a goalkeeper goes and scores a 94th minute winner for that extra goal that get Benfica into a playoff spot, that's the drama they want, isn't it?
George, did you watch any of it?
I watched the Arsenal game. That is definitely Mourinho all day long. It's just got Mourinho written all over it.
It's clever. But you're right, there's a lot of excitement in this game.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the other goalkeeper I remember scoring in the last minute, he actually scored for Carlisle to keep them in the league. I can't remember who they played, but it actually stopped them going in the conference was Jimmy Glass in the 89th minute. Yeah. And he became a cult hero up at Carlisle, didn't he? Yeah, it's fascinating, all this European lot, though. But I just don't get why. If you want to let loads more teams in and have more money, don't moan about how many games you're playing. Don't moan about. I mean, your lot had to go and play at the end of the season in that cup in America, didn't they? Which Trump nicks, and that your players not got no rest at all. Robbie, didn't they last season?
We're suffering with that now. People like Cole Palmer now, he's not 100% fit. They're carrying injuries. Delap was out injured, loads of them. Colwill done his ligaments, won't play this season.
So where does it stop, Charlie? Where does it stop? How many did it go down to 10th place last year because of Palace winning the FA Cup and Newcastle winning?
What English side's getting into Europe?
Yeah.
7, I think.
I mean, what we had, we've got what 5, didn't we? In the
Yeah, but it went quite down because of the.
It did go quite down. I mean, obviously you got 3 competitions as well. I mean, the Champions League with the new format, they say it's just 2 extra games, so that they don't really see that big of a deal onto it. But I mean, like you said, going back to Robbie with that Club World Cup, but then they've always tried adding these competitions. I don't know if you remember, but years ago, they used to have something called the Confederations Cup, where they had the international teams in it, and it was kind of like it was to see how that country did hosting a tournament before the official World Cup tournament. But it was the national teams. You had like France and Cameroon. I don't know if you like Mark Vivian Foe. Remember he died on the pitch, didn't he? That was in the Confederations Cup. So I remember they've always tried to add these tournaments in just to like kind of prepare. But obviously, with that Club World Cup and they just wanted to see how America did, and like what was they having 2-hour delays because a bit of lightning and things like that. But yeah, footballers are probably playing too many games these days.
Yeah, but how do you stop the games, Charlie? If they're making more games and they're saying football, I get thrown at me. You went back to the footballs. The footballers from the 70s, 80s, your Bobby Charlton, your George Best, the Jeff, whoever, they couldn't play today's football. And I say that's rubbish because they would train differently as they are now. The players of yesteryear didn't play on pitches. I mean, Derby's pitch used to be a quagmire. They'd pass the ball, it wouldn't go like 2 feet. I mean, all the other fans would sing to Derby when they come to our ground, what's it like to play on grass? So they said, no, today's players, they're too fit. They're not footballers, they're athletes first. Well, if that's the case, and they're trying to look over the players, why are they making them play more games? It's the World Cup this year, isn't it?
Well, because, they are athletes, yeah. I personally don't think the human body is made for high-level sport for such a long period of time. Because even, back in the day, you talk about Ian Wright and Aaron Shearer, and they talk about how they get up and everything aches and hurts. And it doesn't matter how fit you are, eventually it's going to catch up on you. And your body's going to be in pieces when eventually when you get older. I only played Sunday League and, my knees are in bits now. So, it must be so much worse for these, even athletes in general, when they stop playing sport and stuff. If the players think there's too many games, only the players can stop it. The players can just turn around and go, we ain't doing it no more. It's only up to them, isn't it?
Hey, what I would say is, though... Oh,
sorry, just Robbie first, George.
Yeah. I think it's quite hard to stop that, because then they would say to players, well, look, we're paying you to do a job and you're getting an obscene amount of money. So I think it's quite odd. I don't know how they stop it. I sent Martin a message yesterday before our game after seeing the team, and he's made 7 changes. So, and that's I thought Maresca would pick the team when I see that. So are you going to have clubs in the future, the clubs with more money? Chelsea already started doing it. Arsenal will have it. They're basically going to have 2 teams. And they'll become even more elite in a sense, because clubs won't be able to afford to have teams. And also, how do you keep sort of 50 players happy? Arteta said this week he wants more players named on the bench or something, because some of them are getting upset that they're not in the squad. So you're going to have, like Chelsea, 7 changes this week, 8 next week. You watch, it will be a completely different team on Tuesday, then next weekend. So I don't think you're going to stop it. I think it's not going back. I just think they will end up getting more players, more substitutions. And it kind of becomes like, I suppose, American football or something, where you bring someone on for a few minutes and change him.
Robbie, George.
What I was going to say, now I remember, or don't remember, I've read about it, and obviously I'll have a massive grin off Martin here. Arsenal in 1980, they got to 2 finals. They lost both finals that year in the space of 3 days, I think. I think Arsenal played 67 to 70 games that year. Now, I'm going back. You didn't have massive squads. Your subs, how many subs could you have in the 80s?
Started off at 1, then it went to 2, didn't it?
Yeah. So, what I'm trying to get at, people moaning about the amount of games now, I think one thing you need to look at is the international games. I think that is just... What's it called? Nations League. Does anyone actually watch it?
No.
No
I-
interest
I
whatsoever.
struggle to watch England at the best of times, but I could not think of anything worse than watching them in a pointless tournament. Just to put players through more games. Same with the friendlies. I think, why can't they, with the friendlies, narrow them down? Why do they have to play on a Saturday and then on a Tuesday? And then you play them for your club side again on the Saturday? Why can't I have, in the international break, one friendly?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Robbie, listen, with all this, like you watch cyclists and they're out like God knows how many hours a day, 8, 9 hours cycling. You know, the next day, the Tour de France, they're doing it for almost a month. Tennis players play 5 hours, 5 sets, just watch them. The next day, they're playing again at Wimbledon. I think it's a cop out. I think a bit like Robbie, the money they've played, they're getting massages here, there, and there. They have these ice baths. Players from yesterday used to finish and go round to the cafe, round the corner at West Ham and go and have a pie mash. Do you know what I mean? It is all changed. But I just think they're overpaid prima donnas, all of them now. And most of them are coming in as just money mercenaries and couldn't give a monkeys about the club. I really don't think so. George, could you whiz me off your all-side best Arsenal 11 before you go? We did have a few more subjects, but we're running late today, boys. Who would you have in goal?
Seaman. It's got to be David Seaman.
Yeah, right back.
Right back for me I'd have Lauren, because I see Dixon, but not enough. Lauren I thought was fantastic. Campbell and Adams.
Left back.
Ashley Cole.
Yeah, good class. Do you know though? You don't remember him, but they had a guy. Sadly, the drinks got him now. He's living.
Kenny Sansom.
Kenny Sansom. He was one of the best left backs I'd ever seen in my life. Who would your midfield be, Joe?
I'd probably have 3 in midfield. Go Vieira. I'd put Pires in the middle, just so I can have a certain player in the side. That'd probably be Vieira, Pires, and Fabregas.
And up front,
Omri through the middle. For me, might get looked at a bit weird. Alexis Sanchez on the left-hand side. Thought he was one of the best players I've seen play for Arsenal. Absolutely phenomenal footballer. And on the right, I'd have to chuck Bergkamp in there. Probably play Sanchez on the right. Omri off the left, Bergkamp through the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Gentlemen, it's been a fascinating show. We want to do one on the characters and what's gone from football and the personalities. We were speaking earlier on, George, about the King Vieira incident, even the Wenger and Ferguson. So next week, if anyone wants to write in the comments, tell us what characters are now missing from the game, or characters that you loved, and then we can do some research on them. We were talking about Stan Bowles. You won't remember Stan Bowles played QPR. He'd be down the betting shop to 10 minutes before the game, and he would run back at 10-2. Sometimes he'd go in his kit, a bit like you said about Claridge, Robbie, at Leicester. He did the same thing. Gentlemen, it's been amazing. Please like and subscribe. These are just our faults, as I've said it before. Please write in the comments if you disagree with us, but be respectful, because we would be respectful back. If you want to come on, please let us know. Someone this week, a West Ham fan, has been banned because he took a banner into the ground. He's been banned from 3 games, home games, and he lost his away ticket from Chelsea. Yes, yeah, I think we'll discuss that as well. What are you up to today, boys, before we finish?
Me, I'm going to have lunch. I'm not going far. It's -20. So the sun's out, but it's -20. So I ain't doing a lot. I'll tell you that now.
Charlie?
Well, we've got Fulham today, so hopefully we can carry on our good form. And later on, probably stick on Tottenham City, because like George says, Tottenham seem to be City's bogey side, don't they? So it'll be interesting.
George, what are you up to, my friend?
I'll probably watch the Spurs City game until City go about 3-0 up, and then I'll just turn it off. Day off today, so just chilling out. I might watch a Villa game.
They played well in the week, Tottenham, in Europe. They played really well.
They just look like a different side in Europe compared to the Premier League.
But that's what Postecoglou did last year, didn't he? Prioritised the Euro, didn't he, and not the league. but they're dangerously getting drawn into the relegation battle now. So I think they need to be careful. George, good luck for the rest of the season. I do think there'll be ups and downs for you, but I do think you'll get over the line. I think you talked about Declan Rice's corners, but I think Declan Rice getting back and being the last man, he's sensational at that. And he's probably
phenomenal
one of the best 5 in the league. Right, my friends, please like and subscribe. We're going to try and do another video in the week. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend and thank